to the Nintendads podcast. My name is Presto,
CorporalNosaj.
and you are listening to episode 99, the most terrifying tales in game. The only thing more terrifying than the tales you are about to hear is the technical issues we face trying to do this. For the last 5 years, stuff still gets screwed up. Yeah, welcome in, everybody. This is our Halloween episode. Deja vu. We've been trying to do this episode for about 3 years and one false start. But yeah, we've had notes for this episode going back at least 3 years.
The Destroyer, welcome in the chat.
Hello. Yeah, we're gonna go over some urban legends, some spooky tales, and of course I have Skull and a chilled beverage, a bone-chilling beverage. Corporal, what have you been playing before we get started?
Just Stardew Valley and Wisdom.
Echoes of Wisdom.
Echoes of Wisdom. That's for life.
Is it growing on you? Is it growing on you? Is it getting better, or you're still kind of?
Oh no, it's definitely getting better. Some of the dungeons are a little bit more challenging. You definitely need to have certain echoes unlocked in order to do certain things. Like I said last time, because I've broken the game and I have gone to areas of the map that I shouldn't have been, I have unlocked echoes that are making things so much easier for me now. I know that plateau is going to hit a wall, and I'm waiting for it. But,
okay.
yeah. There's
cool.
Kane the Destroyer. Oh my god, I love Stardew. Let me put you on a darker, scarier, more twisted Stardew Valley if you're interested. It's called
Animal Crossing.
Not Animal Crossing. It's called Graveyard Keeper.
Oh, yeah.
You have access to a farm, which you can cultivate for growing things. There is an entire village, just like in Stardew, where you can interact with each person and get different things and progress relationships and all this other stuff. But there's also a donkey that brings you dead bodies. And the donkey will talk to you. And you will take these bodies into your graveyard and prepare them for the grave. And then you can take them to the graveyard and prepare the graveyard, like your farm, for the bodies. It is very interesting. It's got some like European dark humor in it. It's interesting, but it's a great game.
Very, very on theme.
It is. You can sell the meat back to the village for patties and stuff. It's total medieval style. Like it's interesting.
Marianne, welcome in. Thank you for liking the stream. Well, I've been playing some decidedly less macabre games. Dragon Ball Sparking Zero, awesome single player. Multiplayer is kind of janky. They need to fix some things, but overall pretty good. I've been playing Windblown, the Windblown demo, which is a roguelike from the developers of Dead Cells, Motion Twin, and I mean, this is the day one for me. It's really fast. It's really fun. I really love the world that they've made with the characters and the level designs, and just it's got a lot of personality like Dead Cells. Different than Dead Cells, but a lot of personality, just like Dead Cells has a lot of personality. 13Z, which stands for 13 Zodiac, which is sort of a Devil May Cry, Genshin Impact, hack and slash roguelike. It's like a third person. Corporal, I think you would actually like it a lot.
Sounds like
it's pretty fun. And then last, maybe least, Rivals of Ether 2. No, I'm kidding. This is a new platform fighter, the sequel to Rivals of Ether 1 in full glorious 3D. It's pretty fun. but it's very sweaty because lots of people have had early access in the open betas from Kickstarter. So if you go on download the demo and think, I played Smash Brothers, I'm going to hop right in, you're about to get your face planted in the ground because there's people who are taking this game a little too seriously. Demo guys. And I hope that their matchmaking figures things out because it's kind of frustrating to go against people who have played dozens of hours and you're trying to learn controls. But if they figure that out, I think they have a direct competitor for a competitive platform fighter for Super Smash Bros. Melee. Ultimate, nobody really takes that game seriously, but for Melee, yes. Yeah, a lot of good demos out for Steam Next Fest right now. Corporal, what are you drinking?
Water. I am preparing
Water.
my body for the grave. I mean, for better health.
I just got a Victory Brewing mixed pack with a whole bunch of things. So, shout out to Victory.
Welcome in, Tri Kingdom.
Oh, I set a limit on those redeems. I figured out how to set a limit.
Did you really?
So now you can only do them, I think, every 5 minutes, and you can only do 4 of them per stream.
Really?
Yeah.
You put a stop to Tri Kingdom's harassment. That's interesting.
Yes, I did. So what is this curious first section we have here in our notes, Sir Corporal?
So I built the notes for these past couple episodes, and
You've had years to build these notes.
let me tell you, when we first, if you've been following us for a long time, take a shot. But I used to be hardcore into building all of our show notes, and I would have show notes built 6 months in advance because I just
Those were the
had
days.
insane amount of ideas and I just would run with every one of them. And at the time when we started, the gentleman, Nick Yeti and Presto, had nowhere to go except for just follow the path that I created because it was already built and why push against the stream. But as the years went on, I ran out of ideas, and then notes became more fluid and more current, and here we are now. But recently, I've gotten back into my note building. So for the past 5 episodes, we've had pretty pre-choreographed notes, and Presto is finding things written in my notes that may be old, may be unrelated, maybe why is it even here? But this first section of our terrifying tales of gaming, I am asking you, Presto, what is your favorite horror game? Now, I know that we just recently did an episode about our favorite games across every genre, and you tried to find a way of putting Monster Hunter into every single category.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, there's that one quest in Rise, not to spoil anything, but where all the animals, all the endemic life is dead, there's no music, it's very creepy. You're saying that doesn't count.
I am asking
Okay.
you to create a list of at least 4 of your favorite horror games. Tri Kingdom gives me the fail sound.
So the most scared, I mean, Five Nights at Freddy's, because we talked about this on our last episode.
Yeah.
Five Nights at Freddy's has got to be like I mean, it scares the quail feathers out of any. It's the jump scares are no joke. To be perfectly honest, I don't play a lot of horror games. I'm trying to think. I mean, Resident Evil games. I've played a couple Resident Evil games like back in the day. I will trying to remember. I will tell you. I think. Let me see. There was a game that I played. Yes. So when I was a kid, like probably grade school, I had Are You Afraid of the Dark? Point and
Okay.
click adventure for my PC.
Yep.
And this game was scary as shit. It was creepy because it was a point and click adventure, so it had a lot of like photorealistic elements, and it was very like jarring and had like creepy sound design because it was like you were just pointing and clicking. So, and it was the 90s, so everything was a little bit weird with computer games. And I remember I was being chased by a mummy, and just heard the sounds of the mummy getting closer and closer, and you can't move your character. You're just pointing and clicking, frantically trying to get from room to room. And I remember I'm hiding somewhere, and the sound stops, and all of the sudden, the mummy jump scares me, and the game crashes. And that may have been the last time I ever played that game
Okay.
because it was, as a kid, it was terrifying. I can't really think. I mean, I played Super Smash Brothers Ultimate online with their netcode. That is truly horrifying. Um, uh, I can't think of any other horror games that I've really delved into. Your list is way more impressive.
I
You play more horror
I
games.
I dabble in the darkness. um oh my god, I love that show. Are You Afraid of the Dark? I didn't know that there was a point and click game though. I love those. I have
Yes.
two really awesome ones on Switch. Destroyer. Um,
Oh, Fatal Frame. Hold on. Fatal Frame. I never played the whole game, but they released a demo for one of the Fatal Frame games on Switch, and I played it. And I wasn't a huge fan of the gameplay loop, but it's really creepy and really cool. You basically like solve mysteries and like capture ghosts with like an old school camera, and you only see the ghosts in the camera. So that I
Interesting.
yeah, Fatal Frame is legit. It's really cool.
So I honestly never saw. I saw the Are You Afraid of the Dark TV show, but I never knew the game. Um, there's a Reddit post, Windows 98 best horror games of the 90s, and Are You Afraid of the Dark is the top one on the Reddit
Here,
post.
let me see if I can I drop this in? Copy image. Nope, OBS ain't gonna let me do it. I'll work on this. You go through your list.
Okay, well, uh, there are. I'm not going. I'm trying not to repeat anything. So you already mentioned Five Nights at Freddy's and Resident Evil, which Resident Evil is Hero. I'm alive. Welcome to the living, Hero.
What's up?
What a shame to be among us. Um, Five Nights at Freddy's and Resident Evil are top tier, great horror games.
Here we go.
I
I have hold on before you get started. This is the Are You Afraid of the Dark uh art from the 90s game that you see on my The Tale of Orpheo's Curse, a ghostly adventure.
oh, you have it over on the Facebook side.
Yes. So, there it is. Continue, sir.
Um, so I am a huge fan of Dead Space. Dead Space to me is a shooting horror. Uh, you're a mechanic and engineer who's brought to a space station in outer space to come to find out that the space station has been taken over by a dark plague, and you've got to shoot your way and cut your way, cut the limbs off your to fixing the machine and getting out into uh running and get back out into space. Phenomenal, great game. Love the jump scares in it. Love the character building or mechanics on it. Great. Um, if you have not had a chance to play a psychological thriller game, may I recommend Layers of Fear.
Oh,
I've talked
you've
about
talked
this.
about this so
Yes.
many times.
Layers of Fear is you are a painter and you are the daughter of a painter and you come back to your family home and walk through the house reliving the traumas that were caused to you by your painter, your father, the painter.
Sounds
And
like therapy.
it's dark therapy. You put together puzzles that are throughout the house about how your mother was killed and how the dog was murdered, how the house burned down, and like it is a trippy adventure. It's a great game. It's a great game for maybe you and a couple or friends, maybe pass the controller around, sit around the couch and do it a couple, an hour or so every night. Just kind of chip away at the story and not get too scared out. Phenomenal game. Nobody can talk about a horror game, in my opinion, without talking about Silent Hill.
Ah, yes. Never
Si-
played the game, loved the movie.
Movie was good. Movie was good. Games are phenomenal. The characters that are in this game have been cosplayed and recreated to the end of the world.
Oh, yes.
But it is a great game. uh, I'm gonna come back to Silent Hill when I'm done with my list here, real quick. But the next
Okay.
game is Little Nightmares.
Mm.
Now, Little Nightmares, I personally think everybody should have the opportunity to play once. It's not as dark and scary as some of the other ones presented. It's more of a family friendly horror game. But it is a cute little story.
I
And
think I got this game for free on either Epic Games or Steam, or I have either Little Nightmares 1 or 2, and I remember getting it for free, and I've never played.
Nightmares 3 is coming out for 2025. So
Oh,
that's one of the reasons why I'm mentioning it, because it's a great series of games.
that's pretty
Um,
cool.
and if you really enjoy Little Nightmares, Limbo is the next game that's in that genre that is absolutely great to play.
Okay.
um, I have an honorable mention, and it's not necessarily an entire game, and I have this in here just simply to upset some of my fans, and that is Half-Life. And Half-Life has a specific level in the game called Ravenholm. And the Ravenholm level is very much like Silent Hill, an abandoned town, abandoned mining town. Um, and if you know me, I love abandoned towns. I am one of those urban explorers who will go into abandoned town and walk through people's abandoned houses and look at history that was left forgotten. Um, there's a lot of abandoned towns that are in the United States, and during this time of year, it's always fun to go exploring. Um, Ghost Towns of America. Uh, Type it into Google. Have fun.
That
But
reminds me, did you know they have a game about the back rooms? It might just be called the back. Uh, do you know of the back rooms?
no, I know of the Backrooms, but
Okay.
I don't know of the
Yeah,
game.
there's a backrooms game that I think might be made in the Half-Life engine. I forget what it's called. But yeah, it's a backrooms game, and I think they're making a either a movie or a TV series. I think they partnered with A24 to do it.
Okay.
But there is a good backrooms game that I've always wanted to play that I'm a little bit too scared to play. I'm skittish when I play games.
Well, I might play some Layers of Fear on stream as we get closer to Halloween. We'll see.
All right. So, we are going to get into our main event of telling you some of the most haunted urban legends and spooky stories about
Cry
video
Kingdom says
games.
Eternal Darkness on the GameCube.
Ooh, yes, yes. I didn't play it, but I can see the art with the eyeball. I remember that game. That was like the only horror game on the GameCube besides Resident. So we're not going to jump scare you. Don't worry if you're like listening to this podcast after the fact, like at work or at the gym. There's not going to
Or
be any.
driving down the road and afraid you're
Yeah,
gonna.
there's no. We're not gonna be like that. It's just these are all scary games that we've had. They're all pretty old because the notes for this episode are pretty old, but these are timeless. I feel like there really hasn't been any big new video game creepypastas. So the first we'll start with is on this list. This one's probably my personal favorite.
Okay.
And this is the Haunted Majora's Mask game, also known as Ben Drown, if you have not read this before. So, Corporal, I mean, we put these notes together, but do you know the ins and the outs of this tale?
No.
Really?
I When we built this list originally, it was like you had one, I had one, you had one, I had one,
Oh,
but it has
perfect.
not really
Perfect.
been.
Okay, well then I will give you the lowdown. So, the story goes that there was a boy who was at a garage sale or yard sale, and he picked up this used copy of Majora's Mask, and this old lady was selling it. And presumably it was somebody else's before it was hers because she doesn't look like she plays games. So this kid buys it. It's Majora's Mask. He plugs it in. He goes home and plays it. He notices immediately that something is wrong with the game. The textures are weird. There's things like glitching in and out. The levels don't look like the levels that he's seen his friends play. And there's creepy music. And two, there's, I think you get 3 save slots in Majora's Mask. And one of the save slots says Ben, who is presumably the previous owner of the game. He wants the full playthrough, so he loads into his own playthrough. Or maybe he loads into Ben's playthrough. I'm not sure. I don't remember. But he's going through this game, and the more he plays it, the creepier and creepier it gets. And it sort of leads him down this rabbit hole about this kid named Ben, who was the previous owner of the game, who died, apparently, and his spirit, or some spirit, some entity, is now haunting the game. And he plays Ben's save file, and a weird, disembodied, uncanny valley version of Link keeps following him around and flashes in and out and scares the shit out of him. And eventually he the creepy Link says, Ben drowned, now it's your turn. And there is a fantastic creation of this story with just in-game footage that somebody made. You can find it on YouTube. Just search Majora's Mask Ben drowned. And I'm not sure if this is how this creepypasta got started with the videos on YouTube. I think it started as a creepypasta and then somebody made it on YouTube. But the YouTube is very much like found footage of just the gameplay, and it is very creepy. Like, I would say out of everything on this list, this one is the scariest for me because it has the video element to it, and the video is really creepy. I don't think there's any jump scares. I'm not 100% sure, so watch out. But if you're interested in this, go search it on YouTube. Watch at your own peril because you'll never want to play Majora's Mask again.
Okay. Interesting. I like Majora's Mask. I've actually never completed Majora's Mask, so
Oh,
that's pretty good. Um,
Majora's Mask is a creepy ass game on its own. Like,
those
it's
of you,
scary.
those of you who are a part of our Discord community, in the main channel of the Discord, I've added the Ben Drowned Creepypasta fandom wiki, so that you can go and read about it, and it's also in the Twitch comments chat. Uh, Presto, I'm gonna let you start with Lavender Town because next one on the list.
Thought we were gonna alternate.
I've got a reason for
Okay, so Lavender Town was. Let me get a proper write up so I don't miss any.
there's
Uh,
a couple different aspects of Lavender Town, which I only know of one.
okay. Well, the Lavender Town is the ghost like zone in Pokemon where there's the spirits of certain Pokemon. There's these weird, it's got the creepy music which we started this episode with.
Mhm.
But the real supposed like urban myth behind it is that there's this thing called Lavender Town syndrome. Is this the thing you know?
Yes.
Okay, well you can.
Well, no, go ahead. You've got it.
So Lavender Town syndrome claims that the music in the early versions of Pokemon Green and Red were played at this frequency that would make kids go crazy. And I'm not going to say it because I don't want to get banned from every platform. Or it would also cause people to hallucinate and have extreme headaches. And it's just this creepy music, and it had to do with something about the frequency because it's got a lot of like weird, like do 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 do. But the version that you hear now is a changed version, supposedly, than the original music in the game. Uh, so I don't think anybody really knows how this story originated or where it came from. Uh, but that's the mystery that I know of Lavender Town and Lavender Town Syndrome.
So the other aspect of Lavender Town, I've heard of Lavender Town syndrome, but I didn't know the full thing of it. The other aspect of Lavender Town is how the game itself, many people talked about how trying to get to the game and finish that particular level is glitched, and you cannot get past the that once you get to Lavender Town, start trying to uncover the mystery of the town in Pokemon Red and Blue. That particular level is glitched and doesn't work.
Interesting. I know there's other like stories behind Lavender Town about everybody in the village was murdered by Team Rocket, or like there's like a person who you talk to that's actually a ghost, or like I don't know, there's some really dark
Yeah.
things in Lavender Town. Now I think that's all of them. Supposedly there's a an entity called the Buried Alive model, which is a zombie-like creature that was the scrapped boss of the Japanese version, and that removed creature called the Buried Alive is still somewhere in the code. I don't know. I have Pokemon Blue right there, and
Yep.
I do not dare fire it up after talking about this. So,
um, a pretty modern day creepypasta story is the story in Minecraft of Herobrine.
oh, here. I
Hero.
explained this to my son the other day.
Did you really?
I did because he asked. He's like, what is Steve with white eyes?" And I'm like, "What is Steve with white eyes?" He's like, "Yeah," and he knew it started with an H. He's like, Henrelbrind? And I'm like, Herobrine, you're too young to be talking about this. Did your older cousins tell you this? Yeah. So go ahead.
So, um, the creepy pasta is that Notch, the original creator of Minecraft, had a brother who died, and to commemorate him, he built into the code a alternate version of Steve, and Steve had white eyes, and he would be in the game, and he would, as a computer, like help build things around Minecraft. But the code got out of hand and would just do its own thing and be super creepy and watch you from a distance. Instead of chopping wood, would just be standing next to a tree, or would walk up to you and then kill you. Like, those are the extremes of the Herobrine code. Um, Following the rabbit hole a little bit further, as Minecraft became more widely known, there are some corrupted servers where Herobrine just wreaks havoc across the servers. It's rumored that if you join that server and then leave the server to go to other servers, you could corrupt other servers or corrupt your own world, your local save files, where
Oh,
Herobrine would continue to chase you through your own maps.
that does sound scary.
So the truth of the matter is, it's very much, to our knowledge, an urban legend that was started on a website called 4chan. I don't know,
No.
but
I also, if you, I don't think they still don't do it because Microsoft owns them and made sure to patch out any fun. But in the old updates of Minecraft, the last thing on all the patch notes that came out would always be removed Herobrine. Do you remember this?
uh-huh, yep,
Back in the early
yep.
days, every set of patch notes would be the end was removed Herobrine, and then Microsoft took over, and then that's not in the patch notes. So they're not removing Herobrine anymore. He's in there,
He's
but
in
only as a microtransaction for 5.9.
there.
Next on our list is Polybius. Now this one is interesting because this one could be real. All the other ones, I mean, Lavender Town could be real and be just really well covered up. But out of all the ones on this list, this is the one where people are like, we don't know if the facts that accompany the scary story are real, but we're pretty there's firsthand accounts of parts of this story being.
So
So,
this is actually something I have a lot of, like, love for.
oh, then it's all yours, baby. Go for it.
Okay, so Polybius is one of those things that happened in the early 80s. And because it happened in the early 80s, it's either really true or really not, because of drugs,
Yes.
right?
People say they saw things.
So the concept is, like MK Ultra, the government was looking for super soldiers and trying to do things to find their super soldiers, fight the evil Russian and the big bad Soviet. And they would have all these different things out across the United States to look for people who are superior in different ways. Some were strength, some were intelligence, some were resistance, and Polybius is one of those things. It is meant to be the search token for people who have resilience and mental strength. And the concept of Polybius is that it's an arcade cabinet. And the arcade cabinet was placed in arcades, mostly in the Portland, Oregon area. Now, if you search,
Of course it's Portland.
I don't know why that
That's
area,
so Portland to have haunted video games.
but if you search this, there's actual footage or pictures of this cabinet in arcades. Like, it,
Definitely from the 80s.
it's definitely, like, was there. And the story is that the game would make you solve puzzles and try to put images on the screen, and you'd have to, like, manipulate your way through. It had a single stick and a single button, and that's all you could do was move and push the button. And it was apparently extremely addictive. And according to arcade owners, men in black suits would deliver the arcade cabinet to the facility. as a token that they could play in the arcade. And periodically, these men in black suits would show up and plug devices into the back of the computer and try to pull the data out of it and then leave. And
Instead of collecting the quarters.
no, they don't care about the quarters. They wanted the data.
See, this is a modern day precursor to social media. You are the product. They're just stealing your data. That's all they want. That's all they care about.
Players of the game supposedly suffered from unpleasant side effects such as seizures, insomnia, night terrors, hallucinations, um, and it was a sensory deprivation type of game, and it was meant to really mess with you mentally. Are apparently looking for people who could beat the game or get past certain levels, very much like how it was believed back in the 80s. They put out crossword puzzles in kids' books that if a kid was able to solve the crossword puzzle, they would have unlocked the actual code for what the German U-boat submarines were using. And like there are other stories that were like word finders where if you were to actually beat it, you just unlocked you know uh the cipher code for the armed defense for China. And like
Yeah.
the government couldn't do it, so they gave it to the public, and if somebody figured it out, then they would figure it out in hopes that they would find their super soldiers. It's believed that one day the Men in Black came in and removed the cabinets because they didn't work anymore, and that was it. Nobody had seen them again.
Yeah, there's no existing Polybius cabinets. They're just some dusty ass photos.
Yeah,
Interesting. But see, this one could be real. The government could have produced an arcade cabinet, set it out into the world for some purpose, and then collected it back to collect the data. That one's, I mean, then it ranges to, psychic abilities and things like that. But this one seems plausible that it could have happened.
apparently the images on the screen would project subliminal messages at you, which would mess with your brain. Um, Snoops.com, which is the fact checking website. If you don't know, if you go to snoops.com and you type in things, fact check. Uh, they have concluded that they have no evidence, no documented evidence that this has happened. But that doesn't mean it happened.
Will.
Yeah, talking about this is going to give us a band ham. Yep.
Um, so the last one on our list is Sonic.exe. And actually, this one, I remember reading some stuff about this, but I'm not super familiar with it. So
I don't remember this one at all.
was it planted? Is it a false memory? So this is supposedly a version of Sonic that it started and it had like Sonic the Hedgehog with like I think it started normally and then there was like an evil entity that was like chasing you. Um this is the notes that I'm reading, skirting similar territory to the infamous Ben Drowned creepypasta. This is about a haunted computer game. So somebody gets Sonic, and after beginning it, the player begins to experience strange phenomena and realizes that the game is haunted. Um, and then this is the first person account. Someone got this Sonic copy and it came with a note, Tom, I can't take it anymore. I had to get rid of this thing somehow before it was too late. And I was hoping you'd do it for me. I can't do it. He's after me. And if you don't destroy this CD, he'll come after you too. He's too fast for me. Gotta go fast. Please, Tom, destroy this godforsaken disc before he comes after you too. It's too late. destroy the disc and you'll destroy him, but do it quick, otherwise he'll catch you. Don't even play this game. It's what it wants. Just destroy it, please. Signed, Kyle. So this kid boots up Sonic the Hedgehog. There's a saved file. He goes into it, and it's supposed to be Sonic 1, but there's a Sonic 3 save file there. So he gets it. The music is playing in reverse, and the kid thinks, ha, this is a hacked game. He continues to go through it. Sonic gets dismembered. There's blood. Tails gets killed. There's an evil Sonic chasing them through, and it's just this long, hello, do you want to play with me? Like basically haunted thing of Sonic. And it's pretty creepy. There are, again, just like the Majora's Mask thing, there is a video series that is filled with jump scares. So warning to you. But there's also, you can download a emulated modded version of Sonic.exe that somebody made as a fan game based and includes all the details from this original creepypasta. And it's, I mean, let's see, can I get the image up here? Yeah. This is what this is the accompanying image for this creepypasta. Sonic the Hedgehog bleeding from his eyes. This will probably go in the episode thumbnail somewhere.
There's also like apparently Sonic glitches that are part of the original .exe where Tails will come and catch you, like you jump and Tails flies and catches you and refuses to let you go. And every single time you jump off, he comes back and he grabs you, and it's a glitch that Tails will not let you fall. There's other ones where you try to type in the code in Sonic up, down, left, right, A, B, start
Oh
to
yeah.
access the level select, and if you type it wrong, apparently there's a level select with Dr. Robotnik, and all of the levels are impossible to beat. I've that one I've never seen. I play the hell out of Sonic.
Yeah, I've entered that code in wrong a lot.
Apparently, there's also like hidden teleportation places that during Dr. Robotnik boss levels that you can be teleported to. Um, there's a Silent Hill Act 2 strange issue doing a spin dash up a slope, which
What?
causes Tails to become invisible, and the only thing you can see is his two tails that are pop up every which way in like different areas.
This
But
sounds like speed running notes.
it's there's a lot of like glitches apparently that were in the original game. Like it breaks down.
That I believe.
But yeah.
What is this last mini scare on our list?
Mario Galaxy.
Oh, I know what this is. Yes. I have heard of this.
Remember, we've written these notes years ago.
Yeah, yes. Yes. So do you want to introduce this one? Because
I don't know this one.
You don't know this one?
No.
So there is a rumor that it's not a rumor because it's in the game, but there is a creepy thing. Let me bring it into frame here. Sorry, podcast listener. So in Hell Valley, which I don't know if that's the real name for the level. I think it is. In Hell Valley in Super Mario Galaxy, I think 2. There are trees, supposedly trees,
Sure.
that are above along the ridgeline of this one spot of this one level. And this is what they look like. These are not trees. These are not what trees look like. These are what nightmares look like. So I don't know if there's more.
They look to me like the old school Slenderman.
Yeah, right? Let's see here. Let's see here. Yeah, they're really tricky to actually get. Theorized to be many things. But the two most believable theories are that they're either Kodama tree spirits from Japanese folklore, or that they're skinwalkers. I don't know if Nintendo would be cool with people putting skinwalkers in there, but they're creepy regardless. I wish there was some more substantiated lore about this, but there's not. But if you have Mario Galaxy 2, you can go look at this yourself. 'Cause they're still in there, and they'll get you. Yeah, they're
So since I brought it up, you know the story of Slenderman, right?
Oh, yes.
That
Oh, yes. I made it through about 10 episodes of Marble Hornets on YouTube before I was like, "Nope, I don't need to watch this. This isn't for me. No, thank you."
Slenderman for me, I guess, was like the modern day version of Blair Witch.
Yeah.
I enjoyed
Did you
these.
watch the Marble Hornet series?
No.
Oh, so if you go on YouTube and you search for a YouTube channel called Marble Hornets, Marble Hornets, I think, came after the creepypasta. Marble Hornets was the series that popularized Slenderman. And it is a found footage sort of documentary about a guy who finds this documentary that his friend was working on before he disappeared. And he starts watching the footage, and it's them trying to make this like movie. They're making like an indie movie, and strange things start happening. And it goes from like relatively normal to like really, really creepy stuff happening around Slenderman. And I had to stop watching it because I am not good with like found film horror because it's so realistic.
Yeah.
Uh, and it has kind of a slow start. And I mean, this was like when I was in college or high school. So I'm not sure how well the footage has held up. It's probably pretty funny to watch it now. But if you're interested, Marble Hornets on YouTube, it has to still be up.
Found footage movies, and I think there, I'm sure, with some subgenres of found footage type video games, backroom stuff, are
Yeah.
some of the most interesting twisted humor. Like, you have to have a special mind as a director or filmmaker or writer to create and come up with these types of. So
Yeah.
it's interesting.
Oh yeah, Marble Hornets. All the original videos are still here. The first Marble Hornets video has 8.1 million views from 15 years ago. So there you go. What else? What's the side question of this episode? Look at this. We did keep it under an hour. How about it?
Told you. Which horror game do you think would be the most fun to replay?
Not Five Nights at Freddy's. Once you've played it once, there's really no
No
um
reason to go back
to
and play it again.
I mean, I would love to go back and play the Are You Afraid of the Dark Point and Click series.
Yeah. Since I've never
That
played it, I would play that.
that would be I bet you we can find it. I bet you it's out there. It's free somewhere on like an
Oh yeah.
emulation. I've never played Majora's Mask.
Really?
At all. No. I loved Ocarina of Time. I just the idea of having to complete a game within a set amount of time instantly gives
So
me the same
stressful.
it gives me the same stress as playing Cooking Mama. Or no, Overcooked.
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 Yeah. It just gives me that like unpleasantness of like taking a test I didn't study for
Has
times 5.
Lady Sage and I ever forced you to play family style with us?
Yes. That's different because that's on the phone, that's fun, that's more like a social party game that I
Yeah.
should play in person sometime. But no, Overcooked 2 is just like, do you ever cook on a helicopter in the end of a building and they just keep going like this? No, nobody needs that. Put the fries in the bag.
That's something that my name is Jeff. Lady Sage and I will play often sometimes.
Is Overcooked or
Oh, yeah,
family style.
Overcooked. When we get together, we'll play Overcooked.
Uh, yeah, I think that's our episode. Make sure to follow us on TikTok, Twitch, and if we missed any of your favorite spooky tales in gaming, be sure to leave a comment on wherever you're listening to
Yeah,
this, and we
tell us
will look
about
at
it.
it and include it in the next Haunted Games episode we do in another 3 years.
I
But
had a
speaking, wait,
dad
hold on.
joke
So
for
I'll
this
let you
episode.
get your dad joke. But speaking of years, our 5 year anniversary is coming up next week. In 1 week, we're doing on the 25th. We're having a little stream and episode number 100,
Our
our
100th
centennial
episode,
episode.
our 100th episode on our 5-year anniversary.
Crazy. It's like we planned it.
Yeah.
Okay, what was your statement?
I had a dad joke about boomerangs, but I forgot it. I'm sure it'll come back to me.
That hurt. I heard a good dad joke the other day and then I forgot it. And that's not a setup for a dad joke. That's just
It
honestly,
was
I heard it.
probably about boomerangs, and it'll come
It
back to
might have
you.
been. It may have been. All right. That's our episode. What are you streaming on Sunday?
I'm debating if I want to go back to Legend of Zelda Echoes of Wisdom so I can chip away more at that online, or if I'm going to choose something scary since we're coming so close to our Halloween.
If you're gonna do a Sunday morning stream, you can't.
Yeah,
That's
I
not.
know.
That's not scary.
Sunday morning with some cereal. Are you a Travis Kelsey and Chief Taylor Swift Travis Kelsey fan?
No. I
Travis
mean, I like Taylor. That's fine, but I don't follow the sports ball.
Travis Kelsey and his brother Jason Kelsey have came out in like media outlets and podcasts and talked about their favorite cereal. And their favorite cereal is actually a mixture of different cereals put together. And they happen to all be General Mills. Well, General Mills
Well, that's
heard,
like 90% of cereals in
yeah,
general.
General Mills had heard about this and they made a Kelsey's mix. It's on the shelves right now. And
That is marketing. That is not, oh, they love cereal and Kellogg's decided, oh, those gosh darn Kelsey brothers, we're going to make them a real treat. No. Kellogg said, hey, do you guys like cereal? And they're like, no, we're athletes. We don't eat sugar crap. And Kellogg's goes, how about for $1 million? And they said, actually, we have this favorite cereal. And it's all your company's stuff. That's so crazy. I can't believe that. What a coinky dink.
anyway,
When you work in marketing, everything gets ruined.
that's you, not my problem. I will be eating the Kelsey cereal mix Sunday morning while I play some game.
Below the Stone did get an update.
Yes, I probably play Below the Stone to be.
That honestly sounds like, or you can try. Wait, have you done the wind? You haven't played the Windblown demo.
I haven't. I just set
Oh
up.
my god, you should.
Okay.
That game deserves the roses, and it's co-op, and it comes out in like a week, and I'm gonna force you to buy it and stream it with me.
The real reason I'm broke, gentlemen.
October 24th, the day before. 100th episode's canceled, guys. We're gonna co-stream Windblown. Sorry, it's just really good.
5 years building up to this moment, and we've decided right now we're gonna not do it.
Wait, oh, one more piece of news. This really should have gone at the top of the episode. There is a Monster Hunter video announcement going on Wednesday of next week. That is the 23rd. And there's a strong possibility that they are going to either drop the demo or have a release date for the demo for Monster Hunter Wild. So I'm just going to be holding my breath until then.
Bye, everybody.
Bye, everybody. Have a great weekend.